She had just come home from work. Dinner was on the way. She even texted her mom, "We're eating now." But hours later, her body was found lying cold in the hallway, stabbed, decapitated, and partially dismembered. And the man who did it, he was her boyfriend, a postman who claimed he'd blacked out. This is the chilling case of Phoenix Spencerhorn.
Welcome back to Once Upon a Voice, where every crime tells a story and every story leaves a scar. If you're drawn to the darkest corners of human nature and the emotions that drive people to the edge, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe because the next story might just stay with you forever.
Phoenix Spencerhorn was just 20 years old, bright-eyed, full of energy, and loved by everyone who knew her. She was the kind of daughter who texted her mom every day, the kind of friend who showed up even if she was tired from work, and the kind of woman who believed in love even when it got hard. Her mother once said she lit up every room she entered. Phoenix dreamed of becoming a midwife someday. She loved babies, she loved people, and she had the patience of someone twice her age. Friends described her as grounded. A little shy at first, but quick to laugh, and always the one to make peace in a group. She wasn't naive, but she believed in second chances. Maybe that's why she stayed. 2 years before her death, she met someone at a party. His name was Ewan Methven. He was 27, quiet, intense, and worked for Royal Mail, the UK's historic postal service. To outsiders, they seemed like an odd pair. Phoenix was warm and bubbly. Methven, reserved, almost guarded. But somehow they clicked. She told her friends she felt seen around him, that he listened in a way most guys didn't. And when he started showing signs of anxiety, even depression, Phoenix did what she always did. She stood by him. They started dating. It wasn't fireworks, but it felt safe. She moved into his flat, a top-floor apartment in East Kilbride, Glasgow. It wasn't much, but it was theirs, at least at first. Behind closed doors, the cracks began to show. Methven wasn't just withdrawn, he could be cold. He would go quiet for hours, then lash out in bursts of emotion, sometimes guilt, sometimes anger. According to neighbors, shouting was heard more frequently in the months before Phoenix's death. But no one ever called the police. She never made a complaint, because Phoenix was trying to make it work. She told her best friend during a late-night call that Methven had started using substances, cocaine, steroids, alcohol, sometimes all three at once. He was trying to bulk up, she said. He thought it might help with his confidence. But the side effects were unpredictable. He became paranoid, accused Phoenix of cheating, then cried and begged her not to leave. She began staying longer at work, volunteering for extra shifts, not just for the money, but for the space. Then came the night of November 16th, 2024. Methven texted her during her shift, "I feel lonely." She responded, loving, patient as always. She promised they'd have dinner when she got home. He ordered takeaway. He waited. At 9:37 p.m., Phoenix texted her mom for the last time. They were eating, she said. Normal, calm. No one knew those would be her final words.
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
Somewhere between dinner and midnight, something in that apartment went violently wrong. At 12:13 a.m., a downstairs neighbor heard a loud crash, followed by hurried footsteps. That same moment, Methven's fitness app recorded a surge in movement. He was pacing, maybe dragging something, maybe trying to clean. But the most disturbing part, he didn't call for help. Not then, not the next morning, not the day after. Instead, Methven waited 48 hours with Phoenix's body lying lifeless in the hallway. At one point, he even opened the door to a delivery driver. The driver later told police that Methven seemed normal. Not high, not panicked, just calm. But behind that door, Phoenix had already been brutally murdered. When Methven finally dialed 999 on November 18th, he told dispatchers he was having a mental breakdown, that he'd done something terrible, that he thought he was drugged. When officers arrived, the scene inside was beyond comprehension. Phoenix's body had been mutilated. She had been stabbed 20 times with a fatal wound to the chest. Her head was severed. Methven had tried to cut off her limbs, arms and legs, possibly to dispose of the body. 2 blood-stained knives were found beside her. A third, bloodied knife sat in the bathroom sink. Methven told officers, "I couldn't stay here with her like that. I tried to dismember her. I moved her from the bath and put her there." He insisted he'd experienced a psychotic episode, that he'd blacked out, that he didn't remember much. He even claimed he may have been spiked. But the evidence told a different story. There was no forced entry, no other suspect, no sign of drug tampering. What the investigators found was deliberate, calculated, and chilling. The question haunting Phoenix's family was simple. Why? Why didn't he just leave? Why didn't he call for help when he realized what he'd done? Why mutilate the body of someone he claimed to love? Theories swirled. Some believe Methven was genuinely having a mental break, possibly made worse by mixing steroids, cocaine, and alcohol. Others were convinced it was a cover, a cold-blooded killing disguised as madness. A toxicology report did confirm substances in his system, but not at levels that would explain such extreme, organized violence. And still, his timeline didn't add up. He texted her with affection, ordered dinner, waited to kill her until after she got home. He moved her body, tried to hide it, then waited 2 days before speaking up. And even then, only after someone noticed the smell and called authorities themselves.
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
His legal team insisted there was no premeditation, that he was suffering, that he'd snapped. But prosecutors argued otherwise. This wasn't a break. It was a decision, one said. She was murdered in cold blood and then discarded like a problem to solve. Even his own lawyer admitted he will never be able to forgive himself. In June 2025, at the High Court in Glasgow, Methven pled guilty to murder and attempting to defeat the ends of justice. Phoenix's family sat silently in the gallery. They had waited months for answers. But even as Methven spoke, there was no explanation, no apology, no tears, just silence. The judge called it one of the most disturbing cases the court had ever seen. And then came the words that echoed through headlines around the world. Ewan Methven is the personification of evil. He will be sentenced on July 14th. Until then, he remains in custody. But no sentence, not even life in prison, can bring Phoenix back. She was only 20. She had dreams. She had a future. And all of it was stolen by someone who said he loved her. Phoenix Spencerhorn was only 20 years old. She was trying to build a life. She trusted someone who said he loved her, and it cost her everything.
Now we ask you, was this drug-induced madness or cold, calculated murder? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This wasn't just a murder. This was a betrayal. If you believe stories like Phoenix's deserve to be told, subscribe to the channel, share her story, and help us keep their memories alive. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.